Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Laurent Boukobza and I'm going to present to you today the fourth movement of the seventh sonata, opus 10 number 3 from Beethoven. The sonata is in D major. This movement is also in D major. It's a rondo, but as we've seen with all the rondo from Beethoven, it's not a real rondo, it's a rondo sonata allegro form. Rondo, it's A, B, A, C, A, D, and so on. Sonata allegro form, if you don't know, go see a video I've made that explains all of this in detail. What's interesting here, as I said from the first three movements, is this suspension. In that movement, we're going to have suspension all the time. It's a suspension of a questioning. You remember the fifth sonata? Same concept. But it's the same phrase that's going to be repeated all the time. Kind of a questioning. Reminds me of what my theory teacher was telling me at the Paris Conservatoire. Beethoven rumbles over and over and over the same idea until he finds kind of the essence of what he wants to say. With Beethoven, it's like the rose is red is the rose the red is red the rose. You can put all these forwards in all the possibilities, and that's kind of what Beethoven will do. We have so let me detail that beginning that we're going to hear throughout the entire movement. We have, after this interruption, a crescendo, a burst, but before the top. Here's the burst. And now we diminish to arrive piano here on a fermata. That means we have to wait. A little cadenza. We talked about the cadenza. And it ends on a fermata again. So we have two fermatas and a cadenza for just that beginning. So much questioning. And then, and here we have pianissimo to crescendo. We don't know to which dynamic, so we can do what we want. Piano, 5 to the 6. Same idea. So you see, now we can see that this sonata is starting to take more and more form. And then fortissimo, huge burst, which is on the second degree, and then piano. Okay, so now we have that thing that has been explained and expressed, and the two-note slur I've been talking about. What you recognize in here? The chromaticism. They are everywhere. In that sonata, it's going to be all the time. And listen to this. We have 16th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and now 8th note. So when you play this, rhythmically speaking, it's a little bit confusing. We don't know if the pianist is slowing down, if it's somewhat of a rubato or not. And now listen to the chromaticism. So what he does in here, plays an A major chord, but with the half step before the main note of A major. So instead, to add the chromaticism to it, chromatic scale, and now suspension. So we had the suspension at the beginning in the air with nothing, and now with suspension. Because that's very long. This one is 2 beats plus a beat and a half on fermata, which will make 3 beats. So that's 2 plus at least 3. That's at least 5 beats to wait on this. That's the minimum. And now we go back to the beginning of A. So it's kind of a recap. If it was a real rondo, we would have C, and that's kind of what we have. So right now it's closer to rondo than it is to sonata form, but we'll see later on that since we're going to repeat that exact same section with that B, but the different keys, we're going to see, okay, that's not really rondo. So we have that section in B flat major. What's interesting in here is the accompaniment. It's a D'Alberti bass, but if you look carefully, usually when you do D'Alberti bass, the lower note, like, is the beat. So here, it's backward, so we offbeat. And that falls with the right hand, which the right hand is offbeat. So when the right hand is with the left hand, both hands are offbeats. And once again, we're getting close to jazz in that story. And of course it goes so fast, you don't really hear that. This is not the beat, this is the offbeat. Suspension, 5 beats again, and now B flat. So as if we're going back to that section of B flat. Lots of rest, and now listen to this. So except for the arrival, Beethoven? That doesn't sound like Beethoven at all. Right now we have no idea which key we're on. We could be in any keys, and it's all in the top. So I like to put it on pedal and make it sound almost like impressionistic already. So once again, very long. And now it's going to modify. The rose is red, red is the rose. Listen to this. So instead, my left hand is doing broken octaves backward. And then. So we have variations of that theme, like on these 3 notes. How can I vary it to make it different? And that's what he does. That is exactly like B. That's why I cannot call that a rondo form only, it's a rondo sonata allegro form. Because if it was D, that would be something completely different. And it's not different, it's exactly what we've just had. Here we have a group of 5. And that's unusual because usually you have a group of 4, group of 6, or group of 8, but not a group of 5. And give that sense of rubato, of being lost rhythmically. And of course it goes really fast, so you don't hear it as much, but it's there. So now in the theme, so an octave, half step, and then listen to all this chromaticism that we have in here. It's really incredible. And then on that climax, when you would want to play really loud and everything, piano. And then you hear that? Instead of we have the right hand, and left hand insert. Instead of. And now the right hand is going to do 2 notes there. So variation again and. Should be the end of the piece right now. But that's not Beethoven. So now he's going to do a little imitation at the left hand. So on. And then we have to hear. A cadenza. A written cadenza with too many beats to fit it. And now, backward. So the first time in G major, which is the fourth degree, G minor. Now listen to this. If I would have played that to you out of context, there is no way you can tell me it's Beethoven. It's jazz at best, or pop music, but it's not Beethoven. I'm playing pop music. Except that's not pop music, that's not meant to be pop music, but it's exactly where pop music gets its influence from. Measure 102 of the 7th Sonata from Beethoven. Listen to this again. And once again on this one, we recognize that there's syncopation everywhere. That's why it sounds so jazzy. And instead of that, and then, no. That chord is a romantic chord. That's the minor 7th chord. Then the right hand will do a bunch of chromatism you're going to recognize. And the left hand. Again, like in the 4th sonata, which was 32 minutes long, after all this emotion, that first movement was very intense, the second movement was maximum intensity, and that movement that has questions everywhere, it ends in a very small form. I've said what I had to say and I want to say more. That's very touching. So let's listen now to the 4th movement of that 7th sonata.
So you see a very quiet way to end these 24 minutes of a very long piano sonata. I hope you enjoy my interpretation. So you can follow me on all the social media, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, and of course on my website at www.laurentboukobza.net. You can see. And also in the description below, there's all the links. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much to all the subscribers. To put your thumbs up to all my video and write comments. I love to read your comments. Thank you very much for everyone who writes. And of course, share. Next week, the very famous Pathétique, the song that everybody knows, everybody has played at some point in their lives. Let's see each other next week for the famous 8th Sonata Pathétique from Beethoven. Thank you very much. Bye now.